Okay, welcome everyone. I am Surter from Slytherin, and this is our final Twitch live stream of the year. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us in these past episodes, and I'm very happy to see some of you again, as well as some new guys here in the chat for this final live stream. Today we will be looking at Order of Battle Pacific, and I'll be giving you a tour of the game. It's still very much in development, so we will see a great number of things that, or you will perhaps spot things that are not finished, or some issues might appear. So please keep that in mind. This is not final, what you see here. But it should give you a very good idea of where the game is going and where the developers are taking it, and how they see the final version. With us in the chat tonight is the lead developer of Order of Battle Pacific. Typing as the Artistocrats, it's Lucas Nijsten, and he'll be there to answer any of your questions, joined by Alex from Slytherin, who is also here in the chat, and he's the producer on the game. If you have any comments regarding the sound levels or Twitch quality or anything, let us know and we'll see what we can do. We'll be monitoring the chat. So today I'm going to show you Order of Battle Pacific for those who are completely unfamiliar with the game. It is a turn-based strategy game set during the Pacific War, as you might tell from this beautiful logo. It has a number of campaigns, two to be precise, because we have the boot camp campaign, we have an Imperial Japanese campaign. Let's turn off these tutorial messages. And we have the Pacific Allies campaign. So the game will ship with campaigns from both sides, which is extremely cool. Aside from that, there will also be standalone scenarios and multiplayer. Let's check our option to turn off tutorial messages. Let's see if we can get some music going at the background. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. And today we're going to play a small scenario for you all to see. So let's jump into a single player game. We're going to select one of these scenarios, and we're going to play the Road to Manila campaign. As you can see, it's a very rectangular map, where we'll be playing as the Japanese and invading the Philippines, trying to overrun the American and Filipino defenders. The game comes with a number of different settings to tweak, both in the options and here. Such as combat randomizing, quick unit experience, which is more for single scenarios than for full campaigns where you take your troop from one mission to another, so there's more time together experience. However, for now we're going to leave it as default. We got a small scenario briefing here. So the Philippines will be the first major target of a war against the Western colonial forces, and they're a protectorate of the United States and contain significant military forces and cannot be allowed to exist so close to Japan. So this is our first objective here. So I'm going to press launch and we're going to jump in. And we are getting ready for our mission briefing. The 14th Army has taken north of Luzon province, facing the little opposition. As we advance south, however, we expect the enemy resistance to increase, and which will be here. Since we're on a strict timetable, speed is of the essence, so we're gonna move fast south, punching with our tanks and infantry combined. Indeed, Party Commissar, the game has carryover troops in the campaign. You have a group of core forces that will acquire experience. You'll be able to upgrade throughout the different missions and carry with you. And there's one major airbase here to the south. Right, so we have our force deployed here. Number of units, we got some infantry, we got some armor, some field artillery, and more infantry here, as well as some recon units. And we're going to get in detail there, but first, there is enemy located in the seas here, and we have our fleet located here to assist support. If we don't destroy the enemy fleet, they will be able to pound us from the sea, and our coastal units will be damaged. So let's start moving. The game offers both, or offers naval units like destroyers, cruisers, as well as a number of battleships, aircraft carriers, airplanes, submarines, and on land, of course, you got the whole land unit set. So the units are already deployed for us now, so we're going to click skip deployment phase. And here we are going to see our turn overview. We're going to see what our objectives are, capture all primary victory points, and we have a number of secondary objectives. This is our income per turn, which we use to get new units, and capturing cities will increase this income. So, as you can see, all units are modeled in 3D. Like here we have the destroyer class, and have a number of stats, have a number of abilities as well, launching the torpedo, sonar sweeping for capturing or finding any submarines, and controls couldn't be easier really. You select a unit and you click where you want it to go. So we scouted our first enemy. As you can see, the unit step number turns from white to red, indicating a lowered unit readiness. So ships, if you want to have them in combat, it's best to move them short distances, keep their readiness high, because they will remain low readiness for the entire turn. Lowered readiness means that they deal less damage, they're less accurate, and thus overall weaker in combat, which of course would make sense. So we got a nice group here with a couple of cruisers, armored cruisers to be precise. We got battleship Yamamoto fleet as well as the Nagato, and we're going to move them south. We got an aircraft carrier with two carrier air groups, one armed with torpedoes as indicated by the T, and one is just zero fighter squadron. Spot a bit of the enemy. And here we can see that in the lighter fog of war, we see the darker fog of war here. In the lighter fog of war, we can see that some ships are detected, although they're still too far away to really know what kind of ships they are. So we see something on the horizon, but we are yet to identify it. So we're moving our units south, and we're going to do the same here. If the I'm going to turn down the sound for you. Right. Let's see if this is better. If it's still too loud, please let me know. And we're tasked with taking the victory cities, which are the ones indicated by the star. So we got one here, we got here, these cities, and we have to take these strategic bridges as well. And ideally before the enemy, of course, destroys them, so we can move over across these rivers fairly rapidly. Right, so we're going to start by selecting our unit and see if we can get some scouting going. So I'll move my unit here, and already it scouts an enemy Philippine recruits. They are weak, but they are supported by this 37mm M3 anti-tank gun by the Americans, as indicated by the red cross, which means that he too will be able to fire at me and of course deal major damage to a lightly armored vehicle such as my scout unit. So we're going to move it out immediately and see if we can scout some more. And we do so indeed, an enemy bunker. Although the bunker is just armed with machine guns and is fairly weak against my armor. So we will be able to deal some damage. So now we spotted some infantry here, although we don't know yet what lurks in the other parts of the cities. So we're going to have to move up some of our infantry units. So I'm moving in my heavier infantry, and from the other side I'm moving in my regular infantry unit. And let's just send these guys this way as well. Move our tank to the flank. And let's get a party here going. And another unit spotted. And we're moving in more units. So we got an artillery here, and you can see that the white border here indicates the range of the artillery. Now artillery, these heavy artillery units are not allowed to fire and move in one turn. So either they are stationary for a turn and you can shoot, or you're gonna move them up to the to another position, but it will take another turn before they're ready to fire. So I got 2 units in range, and it's really up to me to decide on what area to focus first. So I'm going to try and take out this city first, as it is an objective city. So I'm going to bombard the enemy recruits. As you can see by the animation, we lower the enemy effectiveness by 1 step, or the enemy strength. And now I'm gonna attack the enemy. As you can see, this unit was in support because it was flanking the enemy from my heavy infantry attack, so it could support dealing more damage than it otherwise would do. This is one of the features that really differentiates the game and gives more room for tactics and strategy on the battlefield. Now these units are not stupid. They won't stay on one place getting killed, so they try and pull out. You can see that their step number is down to 3, and it's indicated in red, indicating a low effectiveness. Right, so let's see if we can get some combat going here then. More enemies spotted, although our armor is a significant advantage against their recruits. We take some damage, but we deal a lot more. And here we're gonna just take the risk. Since we're on the time schedule here, it might be best to just push wherever and whenever we can. So we deal the enemy damage, they retreat, so we can move in and take the city. Although this enemy is still there and it's still something we have to deal with. And our I'm using here the next and forward unit buttons to go for units that still have moved left. And as you can see, our Yamamoto is actually in range of an enemy destroyer, and so we're gonna open fire. So the ship turns towards the enemy ship, fires some rounds, but because I moved it couple of hexes, it lost some effectiveness, and the range is very large, very great. So overall I'm not dealing an awful lot of damage yet, but of course because I'm outside of the destroyer range, there's no fear of retaliation. Our other battleships open fire as well, dealing 2 damage. And we have another ship waiting, or another carrier group waiting on our aircraft carrier, and we can deploy it and get it out. But first, before we're gonna do that, the unit is currently equipped with bombs, as indicated by the B, and we're gonna equip it with torpedoes because I wanted to hit some of the bigger ships of the enemy where torpedoes are much more effective. So we're going to select the torpedoes and we're going to deploy it, and next turn we will be able to move it out and head toward the enemy. Let's see if we can use one of the abilities in game, in which case this is a torpedo unit. For its regular guns, this destroyer is out of range, but it might be cool to show you that if I select the launch torpedo button, you will see an indicator here saying that this enemy destroyer glaive is indeed in range, and let's see if we can fire one. We're going to see these torpedoes being fired. I really love these effects, dealing significant damage to the enemy. And with that, we have moved all our units for this turn. So we're going to press the end turn button, and the allies will start moving. So the allies are reorganizing their force, not yet quite ready for a counterattack. And the enemy ships are moving up. Gosh, there's quite a lot of them there. They initiate fire with torpedoes on my ships. As you can see, the AI is perfectly capable of using abilities when needed. And again, we get our end turn overview. So now it's our turn again, and we can see if we can sink some more ships here, while at the same time pushing further south here. One very cool feature is also, if I right click here on the mini-map, we get to see the strategic map. In this case, because it's very much a long rectangular map, you'll see not the entire screen is used here, but it gives a great overview of the strategic situation. We can see the NATO counter here, indicating the types of units we have, and we can see here blinking the enemy ships that we have not yet identified. It's a very cool feature. It gives you a very quick an overview of what's happening in slightly more detail than the minimap does. So we're going to move up our units, and we're going to try and get some kills on these destroyers. As you can see, the destroyer duel, again the ships will face each other, and of course it would have been much harder to engage with some of the heavier guns. But what I really want to show you here is the ship sinking, because that's honestly one of the coolest features for me. So here we can see the ship is down. Knocked down a lot of steps, back to zero, and it catch fire, and you can see it's slowly sinking. The ship, it doesn't just disappear, and while this is sinking, I can just play along. So it's very convenient. It shows some great detail, while at the same time not at all slowing down or disrupting gameplay. So I'm gonna target some of my battleship's guns to the enemy, focusing on specific ships, trying to knock them out. So here we have another sunken unit, and here you can see the sunken destroyer, the first one. You can still somewhat see it through the water, which is a very cool effect. Really adds a lot to the immersion. So fighting is going on, is continuing. I'm going to move in more and more units. So units can, if they first move, they can shoot afterward. If they shoot, they cannot move afterwards. It's one of the rules in game. So you really have to plan a little bit. Of course, while talking and playing at the same time, I will make some of these mistakes. But you'll have to forgive me for that. At the very least, it will show you how not to do this. Here is the light bomber group. We just set. We're going to move them up. We're going to move our zero up as well. This is fairly dangerous, as the enemy or nearby ships can indeed support against the aircraft. But it's definitely cool to see how you have ships or units, in the case of land combat, combine to support each other. It really adds another layer of strategy. So here we are going to continue to engage some of the enemy units. Take that city, and here we are going to push out as well. As you can see, I don't have to wait for one animation to be ended to give out new orders. I can watch them shoot and at the same time order new units to do stuff. So we need to move this artillery south so it will remain in range of the enemy units. As you can see, it because it moves further than 1 or 2 hexes and it has a truck unit attached. As soon as it moves further away, then it will be obliged to use the truck, and in which case it will be very vulnerable for a counterattack, obviously. So we're gonna attack the enemy down here. Chase it off. So we can move in some cooler units. Pounding at the Americans. As you can see, I captured the city and I immediately got plus 50 of requisition points extra. It might be a cool time to take a look at the purchase menu. You can open it from here, and these are the different classes you can purchase, and each of them, when clicking on them, you can see at the bottom see their stats. And when you hover over an alternate unit, you can see the stats comparisons between the two units. So it's very easy to make like an informed decision, despite perhaps the great amount of different units you have, which of course is really cool to have to see all these different units in game and to use them. So in this case, I'm thinking of what to buy. I might go for a fighter to get some scouting going on, and at the same time be protect against enemy air units. So I purchase and deploy, and I can choose where to set it, and of course it has to be in the vicinity of an airport, which is right here. So I deploy it, and next turn it will be at my disposal. If you want more information on a unit, like detailed stats as well as a logbook, which is really cool to have of course in the campaign, you can keep checking the history of the unit. You can custom name your units. If so, you grow attached to them. There are also the detailed statistics screen, where you can have like the kills and damage per unit class, as well as a combat summary overall. So you can really rename your units, take them from mission to mission, you grow attached to them, and that's extremely cool. So we are gonna see if we have more units to move. Yes. Let's drop a torpedo on the ship. Suffer some no casualties in return, which is very good news. We're gonna clear out this bunker here. And that was it for this turn. The enemy is engaging, is using its battleships to engage me from a very long distance, doing some damage. 3, ouch, it's gonna hurt. And more of them are popping up, although I hope this is all of them left, because I'm not really looking forward to deal with more. Yes, indeed, Party Commissar, there is support AAA fire from nearby ships. The units mutually support each other when close by and when able to. It's both, again, a tactically or strategically interesting feature as well as a historical one, so it really works both ways. We're going to close our screen again, and we're going to push further. Let's first focus on the naval aspect of things again. Bomber here. Bombs are usually more effective against the smaller ships, whereas the torpedoes are overall more effective against the larger ones. Of course, the 0 I'm using here is not at all effective since it has a machine gun. But it's there anyway, so why not? I really like the effect of nearby ships, but again, if you don't like the effects, you can ignore them, just play on while things happen. So here we send another ship to the bottom, so this is turning out to be quite a graveyard. We move in, and we're going to launch a torpedo. It's a bit tricky, but I just like launching torpedoes, to be honest. Against the enemy battleship, doing some damage. It's time to bring the big guns a bit closer. And of course, not too quickly, because I don't want to lose too much of the readiness of the units. In case the enemy big guns can target me before I can target them, it would be quite a painful experience. Of course, the destroyers, I care little, or at least less for their health than for the big guns, which I might need later on. Then we turn to the land combat of things. We got our newly created 0, so we can move it out. This seems like a very juicy target. Let's see how it does. River crossing is possible, but it takes a large amount of movement cost, meaning that you won't be able to actually cross a river in one turn. It will take you 2 turns, like you go into the river, next turn you go out of it. Using a bridge is obviously much more efficient. So let's scout ahead again a bit and see what's we've got here. We run into the enemy, and because of that we cannot move anymore. Engaging them would be foolish, as both of them are dug in as indicated by the sandbags you see here, and they are supported again by a 37mm anti-tank gun, which would devastate my armored car. So I'm going to keep it there now, hope that when the enemy attack it won't suffer too many casualties. Meanwhile, our artillery is redeployed, so it's ready to fight, and we can see some pounding. And here we're going to attack the enemy, pushing them out. I'm going to head towards the city, flanking this enemy, taking them out, and continue the assault on the artillery position here. As you can see, if I don't wait for all the animation, combat goes a lot quicker. So that's something. If that's something you're afraid of, or you're not looking forward to every time, just continue. And again, you don't have to wait for the combat. Still, I really like to watch it because I think it's really well done. It really adds to the immersion for me. Let's see what we have yet to move. This guy can use its torpedo against the enemy, although it will suffer some casualties, but we're here to take some risks, so why not? What about you, or another destroyer? You have only 2 steps left, so might as well move you in and use you as properly as possible against the enemy. Exactly, Party Commissar. The car I just moved here, let's get back to it, is a scout unit, and that means it does not take ground. It also means it can operate behind enemy lines without need for support. Of course, won't be able to repair or refit there, but it's really a special class of unit. So even if I were to drive them through objective cities, they're small scout units, light, and they won't be able to actually establish control somewhere. Right. So let's move up our destroyers further and let them act as a shield for my more precious ships. Again, I don't want this scout unit to attack, so I put it to sleep, and I've moved all my units for this turn. Enemy machine gun is returning fire at my tank, dealing some damage, but of course its effect is limited. And here you can see that the enemy is attacking my scout car, defending itself reasonably well, much better than it would have done on the attack. Of course, because the enemy won't get a value bonus if they're on the attack themselves. But still, the scout, knowing that it's a scout class, decides to disengage, which is exactly what I want him to do. Also, in the options menu, you can speed up the animation speed as well, so you don't have to wait for the enemy animations to show as long. And here we have one of the many events that will take place during the campaign. Of course, it's a historical campaign, although the Japanese one ends with a hypothetical invasion of Australia. But most of all, it's set on historical stuff, and you will get these historical events. Help for immersion, as well as giving you gameplay pointers. So having done that, let's focus again first on the naval war for. Let's try and target some of their armored cruisers. Cruisers are usually more effective against air units, so that's why I'm not too much inclined to attack them with my air troops or my fighters. Let's see if we can pound this guy here with some torpedoes. I also take some damage, but of course 3 stabs of a destroyer unit is a very good trade for the 3 stabs of an armored cruiser, which is usually the much more expensive, the much higher rated unit. Let's keep you as a shield. And move you forward as well, though I'd like to still keep you out of range of the enemy battleships. Drop torpedo at Singa, trying to do bombing gun. There are no ships in the vicinities to support it, so I take some damage, but still relatively limited. I can switch between air and ship mode, by the way, using the tab key. So you can see the different stabs. This unit has only 1 stab left, so it's only 1 step away from sinking, so I'm going to take the risk. Unfortunately, I do 0 damage, and they sink my ship, so I'm going to move in some more and try it again. Although, see, yes, we managed to sink it. Very cool. So this is really turning out to be a graveyard at sea. The sinking animations indeed are just, I really love them. Throwing everything I have at them at the moment, even though I know better, but I want to get the full control of the seas sooner rather than later. Attack. I'm going to move up here. I'm going to start repairing these troops. As you can see, there are 2 types of repair. Repair can only be done within your own territory or within your own zone of supply, which is indicated by the border here. And you have the reinforced unit with fresh troops, or you can reinforce units with elite troops, in which case it will cost you more money, but your troops won't lose experience for being reinforced. This is usually more important on campaigns rather than on single scenarios, but it's definitely sometimes a tough choice to make. Because you really want to keep your units elite, but sometimes you really cannot spare the money to actually do so. So this is where a scout unit comes in handy. The enemy flees right next to its hacks, so it can engage, and it claims its first kill. Its second kill, actually. I think it also took out the bunker. Hello, Ostwind Fleck. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. And to answer your questions, yes, you can repair and rearm your planes. Actually, sometimes change their weapon type on airfields or carriers. And our 0 claims a kill against the enemy bunker, which was significantly weakened. So with that, we're going to end our turn again and let the allies decide what to do. One of my ships gets sunk, which was to be expected. But there's only one left. We're getting close. Move in, bring in our own heavy guns. We'll return fire when we have such a significant advantage in power. We're going to send our aircraft to the mainland. It's no longer needed here. I'm going to drop a torpedo on the enemy and launch a bombing strike as well. Here I'm going to take some risks. Then still moving up my units. Doing some damage. I am taking a lot of damage, but again, these ships to me are pretty much worthless for this scenario, which is in a single scenario it doesn't really matter as much as it would in a campaign, of course. So I'm going to move the engineers forward, and as you can see again, for those who missed it, if I move in these directions, I can just move by walking, but since these units have a transport type attached, transport to move a lot further, of course it would make them very vulnerable to a counterattack, since they might be caught by the enemy while still in their transports, making them easy targets. So here I'm scouting the enemy. I'm looking for the weakest point to attack first. I'm kind of afraid of the enemy 37mm anti-tank gun, which is very well dug in. So I might need to bring in my artillery unit a bit further to start counting them. We're going to move off the river here, and we're going to send our 0 up and see if we can get some more scouting done. Follow the road, trying to take this this little city, and then we're going to try and push out for this river crossing with the 3 bridges. Still got some money, but I'm not going to spend it on new units because I probably need it for repairs soon enough as I start taking damage from the enemy. Battleship or carrier can still move, so bring it a bit closer again. We have our tank unit in place. This is one of the other features in game, is the upgrade unit. You can upgrade a unit, of course, against a certain cost to a different unit of the same type. So you can upgrade your lighter tanks to heavier tanks, your lighter infantry to heavier infantry, etc. So this is very important during the campaign. As you progress, get more tanks, get new heavier equipment to use. Right now I'm moving it up toward the enemy. Well, I'm not engaging yet. My scout unit, I'm gonna drive it back to my own territory for a second and give it some repairs and refits. And with that, let's see what's left. I can engage the enemy. I don't want to do that. So with that, we end the turn again. The enemy is firing at my aircraft using his anti-aircraft guns, although to limited effect. And we are being engaged, although we do significantly more damage than they deal to us, which is very much a good thing. So we're going to bring in these units and see if we can bring in some more guys. Artillery is ready to pound, and let's try and do this. support recruits first. Significant damage is dealt. Which is pretty interesting is to see regarding the support mechanic is that these infantry guys, if I attack the Philippine recruits here, I will get support from the these marines or these infantry, but the other way around, I won't get the support. That is because the American U.S. infantry here protects the flank of the recruits. So the Japanese infantry can't come into support from that position. So we're going to attack from here for the best odds. We're going to move the enemy out of location and finish them off. We're going to drive our tank around. Let's see if we can get some good positions. And we are setting up our troops. Very good. We're going to continue to scout with our fighter. So we see some more. We see the enemies dug in around this bridge, having some engineers, which are can be very tough units to break, as well as some AT guns. Of course, these engineers could be working on blowing these bridges, which would not be to my advantage. So I'm moving in here. I get ambushed by the enemy because I clicked to move in before I spotted them. They get first fire on me, but because my troops are more professional than the Philippine recruits, I still win the engagement, so to speak. So I'm moving up more units now and start the assault. They do some damage, and more than I would have liked to actually, probably because they're well dug in. This unit, as you can see, is damaged, and I'm going to move it next to an airfield. Click on the land on carrier or airfield button, and you can see that an image appears here indicating that this airfield is has indeed some units landed or stationed here, and I can select the unit from here, and next turn I will be able to issue repairs. Right, having done that, let's decide to finish off the American fleet. This is indeed already sinking, and there goes the last of the American units. Having this done, I'm going to move my light bombers to the airfield as well for repairs and refits, and my naval group have done their job and is free to return to wherever the Imperial Navy might need them more than here. We're not going to engage here, and you guys have done your job. One cool feature to show here would be the sonar one. In this case, not really needed because I haven't spotted any submarines. But this is to, if you think submarines are nearby, you can use the sonar sweep function, and will scan for submarines in the vicinity. It's again one of these abilities that, when used well, can really come to your aid, and are vital for using your destroyers effectively against enemy submarines. I'm gonna sleep them as my fleet is done. Probably want to return to harbor somewhere for some proper repairs, because while they did win, they took quite a beating. I'm gonna further repair you. I'm gonna move you out, and with that we have finished our turn. And here we are again, our turn overview. We're not going as fast as I'd hoped. Naval contributions. The complete destruction of the enemy fleet has allowed us to send additional reinforcements. A unit of elite special landing forces has arrived to support the operation. This is very cool. Again, this is one of these events in-game that if you meet certain requirements, you'll get some support. And in this case, I will get support of Japanese Marines, quite experienced as well, so really some elite troops. So I'm going to move them toward land to get them ready. The aircraft carrier stays because the planes have stayed. I can still use it for refuels and refits, although in this case I'm going to send them toward the air base. This unit I can start preparing. I'm going to do that. And this one is still armed with torpedoes, and I'm going to click on the button and equip it with bombs, because in this case, of course, we're going to engage land targets from now on mostly. So having bombs is a much more effective means of engaging enemy targets. More units. And our scout unit is ready again, so we're going to move that out and see if we can scout some stuff. And here we're going to try and get a surround on the enemy. Repair these guys. We're going to start pounding here. Bit of a risk, but if I can deal enough damage, then we'll probably run from the hex, allowing me to capture it and isolating, effectively isolating the enemy AT gun. I'm gonna give it a shot. Fortunately, brave as they are, the enemy Marines hold position, which is not at all to my advantage. Pound them with my artillery. Finish him off. Let's move up our fighter again and see if we can get some more spotted. And also here, enemy engineers are dug in around the bridge, although this one appears to be unguarded. Again, guys, if you have any questions about the game, don't hesitate to ask. If I'm not able to answer them directly, the guys here in the chat will. We got some of the developers here named as the Artistocrats, and as well as the producer on the game in the shape of Alex. So they'll be happy to help you out with any questions you might have. If there's something specific you'd like to see, I might be able to show it. Again, please drop a message in the Twitch chat. Let's scout ahead here and see if we can find the enemy. Indeed we can. We got an M3 Stewart here. That could be a problem. Move up our tank. Where it will fit. Let's see if we can make a real push. Completely surrounded, there's nowhere to retreat, and we take it out from all kinds of directions. I'm going to see if I can move up my tank. Yeah, near the enemy. Artillery wasn't needed, so we can start moving that up as well. Again, the enemy's probably dug in here around these cities, so having the artillery somewhere over here would allow for some good fire support. We have our carrier, which we're going to move up closer. We got a transport ship, which we're going to move up to the beaches here. And we got our 0 airplane, which is back to 10 strength points. And thus we are deploying it, and next turn we'll be able to fly out. These guys we're going to repair. They're already armed with the right weapons, because we did that last turn. Oh. And going to give them the repairs, and hopefully they'll be able to move out soon as well. Is it worth your fire? No, we're going to keep you asleep. We'll let the II continue their turn. Apparently the AI is really on the defensive here. They like their dug-in positions. They know that I'm on a time schedule. So by keeping their defensive positions, they'll slow me down the most. Secure our lines here. And here we're gonna land. You're gonna sleep because you're not really needed anymore. You're gonna move out. If you're interested to know, next to the strength points of the aircraft is another number which indicates the fuel points. If an aircraft runs out of fuel, it will slowly take damage until the unit is destroyed entirely. So maintaining a route toward the aircraft is of vital importance. Good, we're going to deploy you. You will be deployed next. You'll be moved in as well. Getting repairs. So are we ready to engage them yet? Sure, why not? We got some good trades. Again, scout units, while of course weaker, they're not at all useless in combat, and given the right opportunities, there's no reason not to use them to their full effectiveness. So here I see, as you see, the enemy surprised me by having this unit just out of my line of sight, but it is able to support the enemy engineers. So attacking in this case would not at all be the wisest thing to do. So we're going to continue scouting with you. Here is a bridge already blown. And with that we have moved all our units. The enemy tries to break out. Since this is a victory axe, it's willing to put up a little bit more of a fight. And here we have our artillery ready, and we can start pounding the enemy. And we got a much better trade-off now, although I'm still not entirely happy. So next turn, with the help of these guys, would be a better one. Here we are bringing in some of our own engineers to the front line. Engineers, as you can see here, have a very good assault stat, so they're very good at disabling enemy fortifications. Seeing on the sandbags, you see that the enemy's dug in quite well, so the engineers would be a good unit to initiate an attack in such a time. And it looks just very cool to see the flamethrower in action. So we captured the enemy, and we're going to see if that steward is still there. Move up our aircraft. Zero, not the most effective thing against ground units, of course, but it's definitely better than nothing. Our tank, no, we were not engaging for now, instead we're going to repair it. And this unit, are we going to engage? Yes, sure, why not? take some casualties, they take some. Let's fly above here. We see more anti-tank guns. I really hate these guys. I don't like dealing with them at all. Meanwhile, our infantry here is in position, so we're gonna move them up to the front line. As you can see, moving across roads is of course much faster than moving across difficult terrain, especially moving to extremely difficult terrain like jungles or forested areas. Really lowers your readiness a lot. And the bridge gets blown. I was too late to, just too late I should add, because to capture the bridges in time. So I failed one of my secondary missions, unfortunately. Enemy brought in some aircraft, probably coming all the way from the airfield here, so we have to bring some of our own units in. This unit's running out of fuel though, so we got back. Still, I'm going to try to finish up this stream. I'm going to try to take these bridges anyway, and see if we can do some. We can get this fighter out of the air as well. Move up our bomber units. Here's our other fighter guy, and it's ready to engage the enemy. Nice, that's a very good trade-off here. Just not with best tactics, but with just superior firepower, and we have uncovered an enemy anti-air gun here, so we're going to keep our fighters away from there. Note that most anti-air guns actually have the option, just like in real life, to convert or to use the gun against armored ground targets as well, although at a loss of some effectiveness. It's another one of these cool features where you really show that the guys of the aristocrats have really put some attention to a lot of attention to detail, which is of course cool to see. No, Alex Fabian, we're not planning any like early access type of setting. A number of guys are really having fun already with the beta. But you'll have to, in this case, you have to wait a couple of months still for the final release. What's left? No, I want to keep you sleeping. Yes, Pat Garrett, indeed, we are quite far in development already, or the aristocrats are, and it's looking really good, but we really want to get this all completely fleshed out. And really give you a very good experience right out of the box. No need for hot fixes, etc. Close. We're already on 3 of 5 more VPs. Push again for this here. So let's send our bomber this way. The enemy fighter moved this way here. Let's engage the first. As you can see, the fighter in the air, near a bomber is able to support the ground unit in the sense that it tries to intercept the bomber on its way to its target, which is another very cool addition. So here we're going to engage, and we are way to capturing the second bridge as well. We're not making a lot of progress here. Soon we'll have to bring up some reinforcements. So, anyway, we have managed to take the bridges, although there are some remaining enemies here, but we've seen these bunkers aren't all that strong. These engineers are going to move out soon enough. The next strong point would have been here, where the tactic would have been. Let's bring up the strategic map again to flank them from both sides, do a pincer maneuver, and of course in the end you'll want to rush to the enemy airbase and deny them any area superiority. Unfortunately, our time is running out for now, so I hope you've been content with this preview. I hope you are interested in what the game is going to be when it's released. Again, it's still in development. A lot of things you see here are not final, although we felt that we reached such a level with development that we were ready to show you some cool stuff of the game. So again, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd like to thank Lucas and the Artistocrats team members who are in the chat here for their help for answering questions. I'd like to thank you all for watching, of course, and I'd like to thank Alex, producer on the game, as well. As I said at the beginning of the stream, this is our final stream for this year. So it was really cool doing this with you. This was the first time, or the first year we started doing something like this. We hope you enjoyed it. Every tips or any interesting ideas you might have for this stream for next year, please drop us a line at bart@slytherin.co.uk and we'll have a look at it. I'm going to wish you all a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or even a great Festivus, whatever it is you might be celebrating. And I hope to see you all next year with some new games, including of course Order of Battle, which is set to release. And we'll be having a lot of fun, and let's make it another great wargaming year. Thank you very much everyone. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.